what's up? How old are you?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm 29.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I do.
Okay, for sure. And if you could go back in time and you could either vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, who would you vote for?
Donald Trump without hesitation.
Okay, why so?
I don't trust Kamala, and I do trust Donald Trump to have our best interests in mind.
Okay, why do you not trust Kamala Harris, but you do trust Donald Trump, given that he had 30,000 confirmed lies under his first administration?
I just have a really good judgment of character. I've been told that my entire life, and my gut tells me Trump is better than Kamala.
And what about your gut? Like, what about his character? Is it just like a feeling, a trust me, bro?
No, he's a businessman first. Watched him on The Apprentice, thought that was not only entertaining, but fun to see him kind of start a show and do something with it. He grew businesses. He can do that to a country. I don't think Kamala can do that with anything. I think she's not very liked by the masses. I mean, obviously she lost the election. She tried to cheat, so.
She didn't try to cheat. Otherwise, she would have won, like apparently they quote unquote did in 2020, right? Secondly, if you want to reference the growing of businesses and being a business person, Donald Trump had 6 bankruptcies. He bankrupted a fucking casino. He inherited $400 million from his dad. And if you want to reference his economic policy, it's dog shit. Okay, so what particular economic policy of Trump's do you like?
Well, first off, a bankruptcy can be a strategic move when you're avoiding debt, right? Like
6 of them. Can you name one good business person with 6 bankruptcies outside of Trump?
How many businesses has he ran?
Can you just name one good business person with 6 bankruptcies outside of Trump?
I don't know how many businesses he's ran, but I bet those numbers on a correlation aren't that big of a percentage.
Can you name a single good business person with 6 bankruptcies?
No.
I've been asking this question for years and I still have an answer. I don't have an answer. I've been trying to look for one. I don't know a single good business person with 6 bankruptcies.
I don't know any businessman with as many businesses as Donald Trump.
Bill Gates, Elon Musk.
Has Bill Gates had 6 bankruptcies?
Nope.
Good thing he's not running for president. Maybe I would vote for him. Why are we comparing Bill Gates?
Well, you were saying business people. I was just saying it's not common to have 6 bankruptcies, including a bankrupting of a casino. So, I mean, there's a few things. Again, and then also, what economic policy of Trump's do you like that is a byproduct of him being a quote-unquote good businessman?
I think that Trump has the ability to go into a room with foreign leaders and actually stand for what he believes in. Now, everything he believes in, I don't agree with. I'm not a 100% Trump guy, but your question at the beginning was if I could go back in time, would I vote for Trump or Kamala? I would vote for Trump. 100%.
Hold up. So I asked you for an economic policy of Trump's that he influenced to get passed that you like, and you said the ability to go in a room and stand on what he believes in. Was he able to stand on releasing the Epstein files?
No, I mean, I agree with you on that. He needs to release the Epstein files. I mean, we don't have to disagree on everything, right? I'm not.
So it doesn't seem like he has the ability to go in a room and always stand on what he believes in. So can you tell me an economic policy of Donald Trump's that he influenced to get passed that was a byproduct of him being a good businessman?
No, that's a good point that you bring up. Like I said, a room full of foreign leaders, they don't care about the Epstein files the same way I think a lot of people don't care about it. Like we want a president that can run our country. Like what he does on the side, yeah, he might be a bad person, sure. But at the end of the day, what a lot of people care about is how it affects you as an individual.
Can I ask you a question then? Why did he get rid of the funding for Ukraine and then bring it back? That doesn't sound like he's going into a room and standing on what he believes in.
Well, Zelensky was robbing us dry, right?
Well, then why is he sending money back to Ukraine again? Does he want to get robbed by Zelensky?
Well, they need help, don't they? Wouldn't you agree with that?
Oh, so now they need help. Is it that we're getting robbed or that they need help?
They need help, but they need direction with the help. They need to be told how to use the money
so that's exactly, we were doing, that was already happening prior. That was already happening prior.
No,
you know that, right?
No, that was not happening prior.
There was.
Would come over and beg for money.
They specifically had to buy it from American defense manufacturers. You're just lying. There were conditions placed on the funding that we gave to them. What are you talking about, dude? Trump cut the funding, which gave Putin more power over the region because he had the idea in his head that maybe he could get a deal done with Putin if it is the case that he got rid of the funding for Ukraine. But he got conned. Putin conned him. He's an idiot. He got dunked on.
Okay, so here, let me ask you a question. I'm trying to defend Trump, and obviously I don't stand for everything Trump stands for. Why would Kamala be a better leader than Trump?
Because it is the case that Donald Trump has extremely low public confidence amongst nations around the entire world comparative to the Democrats. Kamala Harris has a significantly higher public confidence rating around the entire world. She wouldn't have imposed tariffs. She would have bettered our relations with our allies, kept the funding for the World Health Organization, kept us in the Paris Climate Accords. She would have kept the funding for Ukraine, right? All of that would be better. She wasn't held civilly liable of sexual abuse. She didn't incite a violent insurrection at the Capitol. She didn't call for the termination of the Constitution.
Okay, so why would she be a better leader? Like, those were good. Those would be great things to do. Minus, like you said, she would be. You said a personal. What was the confidence stat you had? I've never heard of the public confidence.
The level of public
metric.
confidence. Yeah, I can send it to you from Statista. But public confidence rates amongst other nations is extremely low for Donald Trump, especially since he's implemented tariffs.
Oh, well, yeah, we're definitely from different areas. I don't know anybody that had any public confidence in Kamala, to be honest.
These are literally stats from Statista of approval ratings comparing Democrats to Trump, and Trump has significantly worse public confidence ratings.
Comparing Democrats to Trump, I would expect them to not approve of him. I mean, he's a Republican, right?
No, it's not Democrats. It's literally countries around the entire world.
Oh, like democracy.
In their confidence about them doing the right thing regarding world affairs.
I would want Kamala as a leader in the United States if I was a leader of another country, because I could walk all over her, right?
Okay, Germany is one of our allies. It wouldn't make sense that they would want to quote unquote walk over us. And for example,
every country wants to walk all over us. Everyone wants to take the power that we have. Is that not true?
Germany's not going to take our power. What are you talking about? Germany doesn't.
I didn't call out Germany. I didn't call out.
They're a part of NATO. They're one of our allies. They don't want to take our power if they're one of our allies.
I didn't call them out. I'm not talking about Germany. I'm just saying, from a strategic viewpoint, like,
you said
other countries want the power.
Every country includes Germany, correct?
Any country that doesn't have power, I'm sure would like more power, right? We have a lot of power. They want it from us. That's easier to get when there's not somebody in office that has a backbone.
So how do you feel about public confidence being no confidence for Trump amongst a bunch of different nations? 24 country median is 62% no confidence and only 34% confidence for Trump. How do you feel about that?
34% confidence from, you're saying, other countries?
Amongst 24 different countries on a median basis.
Okay, what was Kamala's?
Kamala's isn't on this particular site. If we want to look at different countries, for example, we can reference Germany. There was a 76% approval rating for Democrats, right? 15% for Trump, right? If we want to look at Poland, 70%
I would still have
Democrats,
to see what
28% Trump.
I would want to see them compared, since we're comparing Trump and Kamala.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I don't have any stats.
I told you
in front
from
of me.
Statista.
So Trump has 34 and Kamala has what?
Which country?
You said there was a median from 24 countries, right? Can we just look at that one?
This is not Kamala Harris. This is just Trump. That's the one that has the median from Pew Research.
Okay, how do we know that that's like a good or bad confidence rating?
I can bring up a different one for Pew Research. For Pew Research for Harris, it was 55% confidence for Harris and 30.
You got to tell me the truth right now. You got to tell me the truth if it's
33%. 33% for no confidence.
Okay.
And then Trump
I'm trusting you to tell me the truth.
Well, I mean, I can tell you the titles of them. Look up most people have confidence in Kamala Harris across 18 surveyed countries. That's from Pew Research. And the title for Trump is low confidence in Trump in most countries surveyed. That's from Pew Research as well. The median, the median is 62% no confidence for Trump, 34% confidence for Trump. And then for Harris, it's 55% confidence and 33% no confidence.
Okay, so this goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like, if I was a leader of another country, I would have more confidence in Kamala because I want her to be the leader of the United States.
No, this is about people who are within the context of the population, about their confidence in what they would do in terms of what's right regarding world affairs. So you're thinking, oh, this is just them thinking, oh, we're going to have a better ability to be able to take over the country. No, the question is percentage who have blank in U.S. presidential Donald Trump to do the right thing regarding world affairs.
The right thing. Wow, that is very vague. And I bet you and I, although like,
yeah, it's their own concept of what
ideas.
Of course. That's why they asked the question that way, because what's right would be different to each individual, and they would answer it based on what's right to them. Jesus Christ, dude, you're being dense.
Well, no, shouldn't we just be concerned with Americans if we're talking about leaders?
What, dude? Didn't you just talk about how Kamala Harris wouldn't be respected on a global stage, and that Donald Trump specifically was the one that had the ability to go in a room and stand on what he believes in? That was embarrassing that you just said that.
I don't think Kamala has the ability to go in and convince people to do people that she needs.
I just gave you the ability. She literally had a higher confidence rating than Trump. So
that
people in other countries think that she does a better she does a better job.
Okay, if that was as important as you're making it, why wouldn't she advertise that during her campaign?
Wait, just because she didn't advertise it during her campaign doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it's not true.
Okay, but like we don't really know like what that means as far as like her against Trump in office. Like the confidence rating, we don't even know what kind of importance that is.
Wait, so then why are you bringing up that there's confidence in Trump to go in a room and stand on what he believes in? Like, I mean, I think that you're contradicting yourself.
That was my personal opinion. My personal opinion was that Trump has more.
So then that's not something relevant, because you just said it was irrelevant when in reference to public confidence in comparison of Harris versus Trump.
Okay, you kind of lost me on that one.
Yeah, they're comparing public confidence amongst Harris versus Trump. And you are arguing that he has the ability to go in a room and stand on what he believes in, meaning that there's greater confidence, particularly, right, amongst countries around the world, right, and going to these different rooms with foreign leaders, right, in terms of standing on what they believe in and being able to saying what they have to say, right? That's what you were arguing was inapplicable to Trump, but it's actually not. There's more confidence amongst countries around the world for Kamala Harris than there is specifically Donald Trump.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You have very strong opinions, and you obviously feel strongly for the ones that you do have, but like, what do you stand for as a person? Like, if you could become president tomorrow, what would you want to change in our country?
What type of pivot was that?
I just want to know, what, because we talked about what is right. I want to know what you think is right.
I'm gonna have to mention like a million different policy proposals. Okay, that's a pivot from what we were just talking about. Can we address what we were talking about, and then I can talk about all the different things I believe?
Sure, but I just want to know like what your main points would be in your campaign to like win the presidency.
I'm not running for president.
It's a hypothetical.
And again, you're using this manner to deflect. I'll answer the question, but please, can you stay on topic? Yeah. It's kind of annoying that you didn't.
I can try, but I'll be transparent with you. So, I don't know everything about economic policies. Like I don't study it.
Okay, well, we weren't even talking about economic policies. We were talking about foreign policy because you brought it up after pivoting away from economic policies. Are we just going to, every single time I prove you wrong, are you just going to pivot?
Well, no, that's just not my area of expertise. So I think I represent a lot of Americans, right? Because I don't study politics. I don't get into what everything's happening. Well, I have a good understanding of what is right and what is wrong.
Not in politics.
Do you want to ask me what I think that is?
Yeah, go ahead.
I believe that Trump had the ability to push the Christian faith more than Kamala.
Okay, how so?
Well, he doesn't want to take "In God We Trust" off our currency.
That's cringe. Kamala Harris never even advocated for that. Can you tell me how Donald Trump was going to uphold the Christian faith to a greater extent than Kamala Harris?
I mean, Trump has prayed at his rallies and speeches. Like, he talks about God.
Praying in public is a sin. Isn't praying in public a sin?
Praying in public is not a sin.
Oh, okay. It depends on your denomination.
He's a Christian.
Yeah, you understand there are different denominations in Christianity, right?
Yeah, but a non-denominational Christian.
Can you tell me what was his prayer?
No, I don't know what his prayer was.
Can you tell me when he prayed?
I have no idea when he prayed.
Okay, then I don't even know what you're talking about.
Trump represents Christianity. I mean, he ran it during his campaign. He talked about getting back to America's core values, which is Christianity, right?
Wait, say it again?
America was founded by Christians.
It was actually founded as a secular nation, but just because it was founded a certain way doesn't mean it should be that way. There are plenty of things about the founding of this country that are horrible and atrocious. So
sure.
Let's talk about this. Can you tell me a Christian ideal that Donald Trump upholds to a greater extent than Kamala Harris?
I can tell you that I think Charlie Kirk stood for a lot of Christian ideals, and Charlie Kirk supported Trump. So
I'm gonna go crazy. Can you answer my question, please?
Please don't go crazy. Can I tell you a Christian ideology that Trump has?
Christian ideal that Donald Trump upholds to a greater extent than Kamala Harris.
I mean, there's lots of things in the Bible that he's pushing biblically, like
taking
pro-life.
20,000 children off of free school lunch and breakfast in the big beautiful bill. Like, that's definitely pro-life and pro-children, right?
I don't support.
That's definitely definitely pro-Christianity to take children off their free school lunch and breakfast, right?
That's terrible. I don't want kids to go hungry for sure. I think we would all agree on that.
So, what specifically? Can you mention an ideal that Donald Trump is upholding in terms of Christianity that's greater than Kamala Harris's?
No, I can't. But I don't know a whole lot about. Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know what he's pushed as far as the Christian faith. I wish he would push more, but he hasn't advocated against it. And I'm not saying that Kamala.
He said that he's never asked God. He said that he's never asked God for forgiveness. He can't mention his favorite Bible.
He said that he's never asked God for forgiveness.
Yeah, he said that.
When did he say that?
2015.
Okay, well,
when he was running for president.
Okay, well, that's tough to hear because anybody that was a Christian has to repent at some point in their faith to really submit to God.
And that's showing that he clearly, has not repented. But also listen to this.
Okay. You mentioned the Bible. True. You've been talking about how it's your favorite book. And you said, I think last night in Iowa, some people are surprised that you say that. I'm wondering what one or two of your most favored Bible verses are and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. When I talk about the Bible, it's very personal. So I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into...
There's no verse that means a lot to you that you think about or cite?
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
Even to cite a verse that you like?
No, I don't want to do that.
You're an Old Testament guy or a New Testament guy?
Probably equal. I think it's just an incredible... The whole Bible is an incredible... I joke very much so. They always hold up the Art of the Deal. I say my second favorite book of all time. But I just think the Bible is just something very special.
So special that he can't mention his favorite verse.
Yeah, he obviously was trying to run away from that and didn't have a good verse in mind. Anybody with discernment can tell that he was trying to get out of that for sure. But Does that mean he's not a Christian? That's between him and God, not for me to decide.
Yeah, but like he's definitely not upholding Christianity to like a greater extent.
Sure,
Right?
sure. He could be doing more. A lot of us could be doing more, but I
I
don't
would say
think
that Kamala Harris is doing more than that.
What is she doing for Christians?
Yeah, so she's upholding human compassion, empathy, human decency, taking care of people around you by specifically advocating to reduce childhood poverty by impacting the child tax credit by increasing it to $6,000 for the first year of a child's life, $3,600 through them being 5 years old, $3,000 through them being 18, $25,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers for new homes, a $2,000 cap on pharmaceuticals out of pocket, $35 cap on insulin for everyone, not just for those that are on Medicare. She was also advocating to expand healthcare access through the context of the ACA, and she was even advocating for universalized healthcare.
That's great. I mean, being a Christian is not just being a good person. That's what sets Christians apart. Like, you have to believe in Jesus. Like, has she ever professed that she believes in Jesus?
Yeah, she's Christian. She goes to church more than Trump does.
That doesn't make you more of a Christian than somebody else.
Well, I'm just giving you an example of something that she does that is like Christian-like, that is like professing that she's Christian. Going to church is like something that you do when you're Christian, right?
Well,
like,
religion's a big reason a lot of people vote. If she would have talked more about her faith during her campaign, maybe more people would have voted for her. I don't know why she would have.
But she wasn't grifting and utilizing her religion because she believes it's separation church and state. Donald Trump was grifting and utilizing the ideology of Christianity when he didn't actually uphold it to a great extent, right? Given so that he could get votes from it.
Yeah, no, he shouldn't use it for the wrong reasons. I mean, it says in scripture to try to further the kingdom of God. And if you do it for yourself, it's empty words. But if Charlie Kirk ran for president, would you vote for him?
Hell no. What? One, he's not even alive anymore. Two, right? I don't think that Charlie Kirk is a good person, right? I definitely heavily disagreed with him. I vehemently disagree with him. That's why I debated him.
Yeah, I saw that. What do you hate about him?
I don't know why we're having this conversation. Can we talk about the topic?
Well, I mean, it's a hot topic right now. I feel like a lot of people are talking about Charlie Kirk.
Don't care. I actually think we should stop talking about it. Want to know why? Because it gets too much media attention. This is the last time I'm going to talk about it on my stream. Why are we talking about it so much? We need to talk about other stuff. Why don't we talk about all the gun violence that's happening in this country to this extent? Why can't we talk about the children that died on that day in Colorado? Why don't we talk about that? Why can't we keep bringing that up in conversation? Why don't we keep talking about the children that get shot in schools across the nation the entire time? Why are you not bringing that up? Why is it only Charlie?
We can bring it up. We can bring it up. I'm the only one that brought up something outside of Trump and Kamala, and then I get ridiculed for not talking about the kids. Of course I feel bad for the kids.
No, I'm not saying just you specifically. I'm saying people specifically who are on the right. They'll talk about Charlie over and over and over again. The media will constantly talk about Charlie, but they won't specifically mention any of those other circumstances, right? I'm not someone who does media. So the reason why I talked about it originally was because I was literally there, right? But I do think that the media attention targeted towards that, right, is unbelievably insane, given that there's no media attention for literally starving children in Gaza. There's no media attention for the starving children around the entire world. What about in the Congo or in Sudan, right? If we want to talk about all of these different types of things, why don't we apply our empathy in any of those contexts? Why is it never brought up in that situation? Why don't we ever talk about the lynchings that happen in this country? Why don't we ever talk about the criminal justice system having disenfranchised negative impacts, particularly on marginalized communities in this country? Why don't we talk about any of those other things? But specifically what people want to talk about over and over and over again is Charlie Kirk. That's why I'm not talking about it.
I hear you. I really do. And I think that we should talk about those other shootings as much as we talk about Charlie Kirk, because it's sad, but you have to understand that the scale that he had an influence on people, that's why it's getting talked about so much. He reached out to a lot of people, and more people recognize that name. More people want to talk about it. I think that's why it's so prevalent. But I'm with you on why don't we talk about other stuff more often? Why don't you do a debate right here talking about empathy for the other shootings? Like, why does it have to be until someone talks about Charlie Kirk that you throw that at them?
Well, I talk about it on the stream. I talk about gun violence on the stream. I think it's important to talk about. I do talk about the fact that we need radical change in terms of how we address guns in this country. I'm constantly on my live talking about the fact that I believe that if there's a particular regulation on guns that saves human lives, then we need to impose it. I think my view might even go pretty far, but like that relies on like the studies of specifically whenever it would reduce the likelihood of people dying. So common sense gun control regulation is necessary. It's necessary. So yeah, I think that's really, really, really important to talk about, and I do talk about it on this. Right now, what I'm saying is what everyone in general should be talking about. Right, I'm not just talking about me. Right.
Sure. I'm just saying, like, it's made a big impact over this last week, and everybody's talking about it. It's viral. Like, I think that's why it's so prevalent. And I'm sorry if it offends you to talk about it and you don't want to talk about it. And I get you want to move on, but like, that's what a lot of people are thinking about right now, especially the people that you're advertising to come on to the stream. Trump supporters, I guarantee a large majority of them were Charlie Kirk fans. Like, that's kind of why it gets brought up.
Okay. So people just know about it. And I'm saying people should also know about other things, right?
Sure.
It seems like you're missing the point.
The point of, like, are you saying that I have like a selective empathy towards Charlie Kirk and not the others?
I'm saying that like the media and the attention shows it amongst society as a whole, a selective empathy.
Okay.
It's not just you, but it's the categorization of where the media attention was laid, right? Like, why is there so much media attention targeted towards this, but not targeted towards other things? And yes, I get because a lot of people knew who Charlie Kirk's name was, but a lot of people should also be looking into knowing particularly people affected in all of those other circumstances. So that's also what we're talking about.
I agree with you. And I can't answer anything as to why the media does what they do. I've been trying to figure that out for a long time. If I were to give you my personal opinion on why the media does what it does, it's because they're going to advertise what gets the most clicks and the most attention. Like, that's what they...
Running right into my point.
So we agree.
Yeah, so society specifically having a particular selective empathy for Kirk led to more media addressing that particularly because it is the case that they would make more money off of it. So not only is it a media problem in terms of the funding for it, but it's also specifically going to be a problem in terms of how people are viewing it from general society in terms of where it's being applied. Now, I'm done talking about this. I think it's too much at this point.
Okay, that's fair. And we can move on from that. But like, I think that it goes both ways. Like, I live in an area where there was a shooting and it was handled by gun owners that acted justly. And I didn't see anything in the media at all.
Well, that is less than 1% of cases. That should, I mean, obviously you want to talk about those things in the media. If there's like a situation like that, local media likely would pick that up, especially pick that up for sure. That's a gun-toting red state, right?
It sure is. Yeah, there's a lot of people with guns and there's a lot of good gun owners here. I don't know what the stat is, but I haven't really seen any gun violence thing like that. Anything you see on the news, it doesn't really happen.
Yeah, and if nuclear weapons were legal, you could say that a bunch of the owners of nuclear weapons are doing fine with them and they're not bad people, right? But then it is the case that if one person specifically does something, right, with a nuclear weapon, it could heavily detrimentally impact a great amount of people. So the point is that you want to put regulations in place insofar as that you could restrict those types of events from happening in the very first place.
I agree 100%. We need less gun violence. We need less people shooting people out of just terroristic rants and crazy impulse. No one should be shooting any other human being. I understand that. I think we agree on that. We need more gun control, but at the same time, we can't take guns away. We just need them in the hands of the right
Kamala Harris
people.
wasn't even advocating to take guns away as a whole. Some guns do need to be taken. I'm totally fine with that. But like the idea that like we prioritize guns over human lives is crazy. I mean, do you consider yourself pro-life?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so you want to restrict like pregnant individuals' access to abortion to save human life, so their bodily autonomy to save human life, but you don't want to restrict gun access to save human life?
Well, no, I think we should restrict gun access. I agree on that.
Okay, so you would be okay with taking away guns if it were to save human life?
Yeah, if you could prove that taking away guns would save human life, then sure. But like, look over in Europe, like people stab each other. Like it's
at
a
lower rates
internal
than
issue.
us here in the United States. If you want to reference the UK particularly, they have lower rates of stabbings than we do here in the United States.
Okay.
If you care about violent crime, why'd you vote for a guy who pardoned violent criminals, who beat police officers on January 6th?
I voted for who I felt like would benefit me the most here, and I haven't really had that be an issue for me.
So like, how has it benefited you?
How has what benefited me?
Trump's policies.
I've had I pay more for the stuff that I have, but that was the same under Biden. Like, I don't really trust a lot of government. Like, I supported Trump over Kamala, but I'm not like a diehard Trump guy.
So inflation. So what did the Biden-Harris administration do to cause inflation?
I mean, they gave a bunch of money to Ukraine, right? When we were in debt. That's not a good way.
Trump's giving the money, and no, that was not the reason why inflation went up. You think it was the money we gave to Ukraine? That was such a small portion of our overall budget. What are you talking about?
Yeah, dude, I don't know the economic side of it.
Okay, so inflation happened because of supply chain issues that happen around the world due to COVID. Has nothing to do with the Biden-Harris administration. Now, inflation is going up right now because of Trump's tariff policy. So inflation has gone up from 2.3% to 2.9% since April, since the tariffs have been implemented at Liberation Day, according to him. Secondly, we can point to the fact that we've seen the jobs report be so bad that he fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics because he said that it was politically biased information, which is obviously ridiculous. And then he hired a new person for the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and they indicated even less jobs for the next month, which is around 7 to 10 times less the amount of new jobs that were happening on a monthly basis under the Biden-Harris administration literally a year ago. We've also seen lower real GDP growth. We've seen unemployment increase, right? The economy's in an objectively worse standpoint right now because of Donald Trump's tariff policy.
Dang. Well, he should probably get in there and fix it.
Me? I'm not old enough.
No, Trump should fix it. He should have his guys get after it and focus better and fix it.
Trump was the one who literally caused it to be hurt.
Okay. Yeah. Once again, man, I don't know all the economic stuff, but
so you should care about that though, right? Like clearly
Sure.
It's worse off economically for you. So how does he benefit you?
I mean, my interest rate on my house has gone down a little bit. I have a mortgage. It's more affordable.
Your mortgage has nothing to do with Trump. What?
Yeah, it's easier to buy a home. The interest rates on mortgages have gone down. That's a big deal.
So they just went down here recently.
On Trump,
and that was,
Trump's the president.
and that has nothing to do with Trump. That has to do with the Federal Reserve. It would have gone down to a greater extent if the Democrats were in office, because there wouldn't be upward pressure on prices due to tariffs. And the Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, indicated that he was risking like large scale inflation by doing that, but he had to do it because of the fact that the jobs report was so bad that we could fall into stagflation.
I'm sure that Trump
that was
had a
not
hand
because
in
of
it.
good conditions, by the way.
I'm sure Trump had a hand in bringing the interest rates down, because every single person I've seen run for president.
Yeah,
has
you
always
want to know
claimed
why he had a
to make
hand in
houses
bringing the
more
interest rates
affordable.
down? You want to know why he had a hand in bringing the interest rates down? Because he caused the jobs reports numbers to be so bad. That's why.
Okay, yeah, man, that's all I got. Good job.
Okay. Do you still support him?
I mean, yeah, you didn't really give me a reason to support Kamala. You just kind of attacked Trump.
I can. So if you want to reference policies, $6,000 child tax credit for the first year of a child's life, $3,600 through them being 5 years old, $3,000 through them being 18. When implemented in 2021 through the American Rescue Plan, it reduced childhood poverty by 45% because it was COVID emergency policy and a year long in terms of its effect. You can also reference the $25,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers for new homes to help stimulate the building of houses in places where people want to live. You can reference the $2,000 cap on pharmaceuticals out of pocket, $35 cap on insulin, right, on for everyone, not just for people that are on Medicaid or Medicare. Do you care about any of those policies?
Yeah, no, those are good points. I'd like to see how they stack up against what Trump was doing from an unbiased source, for sure. Right? I think we could agree on that. But
you wouldn't consider any person an unbiased source. If you want to look at the unbiased sources, as much as you possibly can, look at the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, Trump versus Harris campaign plans for the first for this next administration. It compares the amount of debt that they'll add based upon the different policies put in place.
Okay, I'll check that out.
And it shows that Trump will, on a central estimate, add $4 trillion more.
All right, good deal.
For sure. Is there anything else you have to say?
Jesus loves you guys.
All right, let's go to the next person, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates.